Reading that there are over 500 players currently in the transfer portal is odd. What's also odd is Ohio State having a quarterback competition heading into a bowl game.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, it looks like we got another quarterback competition on our hands, and we're not waiting until January to start it. It's happening right now. Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to a Tuesday edition of Locked On Buckeyes here on Tuesday, December 5th in the year 2023. I am your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. And today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. During today's episode, we'll have our regularly scheduled Portal Watch, but also discuss and highlight the one Buckeye who has entered his name into the NFL draft and Ryan Day's expectations about who will play in the Cotton Bowl. But first, when there is unexpected news that comes your way, you will have a reaction, and sometimes that reaction is quick, it's swift, and it makes you start moving and putting a plan in place to respond to that unexpected news that you got. That's exactly what happened to Ryan Day. Now, there was a meeting that I read. I don't know exactly everything that happened in this meeting, but I did read that there was possibly a meeting that went into Kyle McCord entering the transfer portal. I'm not going to dig into that and say, oh, it's definitely this or it's definitely that. Not doing that. But there were some things that happened that I read inside the Woody that led up to Kyle McCord entering the portal. Okay, I get it. I don't want to lose Kyle McCord. I don't think Ryan Day does either. But ultimately, he is no longer here. In comes Devin Brown being now QB1. In comes Lincoln Kienholz now being QB2. And now you get Tristan Gebbia, who I do believe is QB3. Is that what you really thought the Buckeyes would be leading the offense with heading into a bowl game this year? I didn't. I'm sure you didn't either. But now the quarterback competition is here once again. It's not here in January. It's not here in February or during spring practice. It's here right now in December. And, buddy, that's odd. I've been watching college football for a long time. A lot of you have been watching it and digesting it and enjoying it a lot longer than me. You never want to hear about a quarterback competition heading into bowl prep. Never, ever. And I don't care if it's Ohio State, if it's Indiana, if it's USC, if it's Cal, if it's Texas or Texas Tech or Virginia. I don't care who it is. No coach ever wants to hear that the guy who started the entire regular season for you at quarterback entered the portal as soon as that bad boy opened up. McCord was in there, and now you got a QB competition. And I'm going to ask you this question because I'm thinking about this myself. How comfortable are you in either Devin Brown or Lincoln Kienholz to lead the Buckeyes to a victory against Missouri in the Cotton Bowl? I don't think my confidence level or comfort in either one of those is through the roof. I do believe, and I think you do too, and a lot of people have been ultra critical of Kyle McCord. Some of the criticism has been proper. A lot of it has been improper. Let's go ahead and use that word since the proper is already in my head. But Kyle McCord is one of those guys that you know what you're getting. And the Buckeyes offense knows how to work with him. Now you got to get a guy in Devin Brown who's been hurt a lot and hadn't been able to practice. You got a guy in Lincoln Kienholz who came to Columbus in June after finishing his baseball season in high school. And what do you have? Kienholz more of a project, will probably has a chance to be really good if he could figure everything out over the next few years. And Devin Brown, who was in a quarterback competition earlier in the offseason and even earlier this season, but I don't think he really got a full grasp of what Devin Brown can be as a quarterback. Not even will be, but potentially can be. We get it now. And if I'm Marvin Harrison Jr. or Mecca Abuka, not Fleming because he has entered the transfer portal. We'll get on more of those guys here in a second. or Travion Henderson or the offensive line? What am I doing now to help either Brown or Keon Holds? And I don't know the whole transfer portal rules. Maybe they can bring a guy in via the portal and start him against Missouri. I don't know all that stuff. But what I do know is this. We're going to figure out and see how good of a coaching job Ryan Day, Corey Dennis, and the other coaches that are involved in the development of the quarterbacks at Ohio State over the next few weeks. And it'll all be on Front Street, right there on Front Street in Jerry's World, AT&T Stadium, right there in Arlington, Texas, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, and also the home of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Oh, might I add, I don't really say this a lot because really Ohio State doesn't really play in the Cotton Bowl that often. I like the Cotton Bowl. I wish it was still played at the Cotton Bowl Stadium. It makes a whole lot more sense to play the Cotton Bowl inside the Cotton Bowl Stadium. I mean, it just makes the name is just there already. Plus, I just want the game to be played outside, selfishly, in that stadium. I understand it's not as nice and as glamorous and doesn't have all of the things that fans love at games. I understand all that. Doesn't have the suites and all those things. I get it. I still think the Cotton Bowl Stadium should be the host of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic every single year. But for Ohio State, let me get off that train really quickly. For Ohio State, as they are looking for a quarterback competition, we're going to see the coaching job. If things are amazing, oh man, Ryan Day's going to get his props. People going to give him a hand clap. Brian Hartline's going to, oh man, you a good OC, sir. Oh man, Corey Dennis, hey, you might need a raise. Oh, so many things are going to be thrown in appreciation for Day and Hartline and Dennis if things go well. If things don't go well, how much criticism can you throw at the coach's way if things don't go well when they only have a month to thrust one of the two quarterbacks into the spotlight in the Cotton Bowl? So yes, easy preparation, easy appreciation for things going well. But I'll caution anybody who's thinking, oh man, if things don't go well, I am going to be going at Ryan Day's head. Not me. He was saying that stuff. Let's pump the brakes a little bit because some of that stuff doesn't really make any sense. It also doesn't make sense you have a quarterback competition heading into a bowl game. I mean, we all know that Ohio State is being more aggressive in the transfer portal. We're going to hop and touch on that topic later in the show. But ultimately, it don't matter if you're being aggressive there or not. You got to coach these guys up. Maybe the coaching job this year was not up to par. Maybe it was Kyle McCord who was the issue. We don't know because Kyle McCord really wasn't a major issue. He just had some flaws in his game. Name a first-year starting quarterback in college football who didn't have flaws in their game when they were a first-year starting quarterback. I'll wait. That's what I thought. Everybody has them. It's a part of the game. It's a part of developing. He threw 3,100 passing yards. That's amazing. That's huge for your first year as QB1 at any school, especially at the Ohio State University. It's more than Justin Fields had in, 13 games, 14 games in 2019? And let that sink in for you. I think everybody would say Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Kyle McCord. But Kyle McCord did some amazing things during his first year as QB1 and only year as QB1 in Columbus. Coming up next, we'll discuss the transfer portal, Buckeyes who have hopped in that portal, and one Buckeye who has entered his name into the NFL draft. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Gametime. Gametime is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With killer last-minute deals and all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. See the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal without hidden fees. Buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Thank you for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen or first watch of every single day. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. Are you keeping up? Are you able to keep up? Might be the better way to ask this question with the amount of Buckeyes that are entering the transfer portal. I literally had a list during yesterday's show and said, I forgot to make a statement. I should have said, this is the list as we record this show. There's a good chance that between recording and you catching the show, more players have entered the portal. That's exactly what happened during yesterday's show. Woke up, there are more guys in there, got home. Oh, there's more guys in there, went back to check. Oh, I need to add some to my list because I missed some. I mean, like a 4 or 5 hour span, there were a couple players that entered the portal. By my account, there are currently 12 Ohio State Buckeyes that are currently in the transfer portal. Let's go ahead and read this list off for you really quickly. Running back Evan Pryor, defensive end Amari Abor, offensive lineman Vic Cutler, defensive back Cam Martinez, defensive back Ryan Turner, quarterback Kyle McCord, linebacker Reed Carrico, kicker Parker Lewis, wide receiver Julian Fleming, offensive lineman Jacob James, safety Kai Stokes, and corner Jair Brown. The only starter on that list, and the name may have surprised you as somebody tweeted at me when this news was announced, is starting wide receiver Julian Fleming. I'm not really surprised by it. I am not. Now he is not on the level of this player. But Jameson Williams realized if he came back to Ohio State in 2020, he would not have the same role on 2021? I forget the exact year, 2021. If he came back to Ohio State in 2021, his role on the team would not be the same as it was in 2020 because I think he saw the emergence of Njigba and realized, hey, where can I go to raise my draft stock, to be a big piece of the pie, and do big things in my final year in college football? Alabama, I don't blame him. Like, I understand why he left. And if you can go from Ohio State to Alabama and do big things, playing the Natty, so be it. I ain't mad at you. I get it. But also, with Julian Fleming, like I said, he's not that caliber of receiver as Jameson Williams. So I'm not saying that, but I understand. As a starter, great. But if he can go somewhere else and play and raise his draft stock, knowing that his draft stock would not be raised in the same way as it would be next year at Ohio State, especially when it's his last year of eligibility, I do believe, and he does not know who QB1 is going to be, or maybe he has an idea and maybe that's not the guy for him, so be it. I get it. But now, remember I mentioned earlier that there is a Buckeye that has entered his name into the NFL draft. Almost said NBA. We're not there yet. It's Mayan Williams. Mayan's my guy. Go back last year. We had Drew Crabtree on the show last year a couple times of last word on college football, last word on sports, and we discussed it. Mayan Williams and his importance to the Buckeyes offense. And I said, hey, Mayan should be RB1. Said it last year, got some pushback. People thought I was crazy. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, maybe Jay is on something. You could disagree. Like, I'm not saying you have to agree with everything I say. But ultimately, you can understand and be like, oh, okay, that's a thought. Still disagree with it, but I understand and get where he's coming from. Maybe that's it. So Mayan Williams was my guy. Unfortunately, this year, his last year at Ohio State didn't go like the previous years. Part of it did. Had some injury issues that he had to deal with this year and ultimately was ruled out for the season. I don't believe he was ever healthy this year. I saw him. My wife and I went to the Indiana game, and we were actually right there near the end zone where the running backs were warming up. And let me tell you, he walked out to the field, ran onto the field for warm-ups before playing a game this year. And I said, Maya's not healthy. Now, I didn't know what it was that was actually the issue, but I just said mine is not healthy. You want to know why? Because he didn't look healthy to me. That was it. And so mine going to the NFL draft, it's similar to Master T entering the NFL draft. I believe it was after the 2020 season. Had more eligibility left in Master Teague, and so does Mayan Williams. But what do you find? Is it go somewhere else, potentially raise draft stock, but go to a different school, definitely going down from Ohio State? You're probably not going to go to another school that's like Ohio State if you're going to be someone that is transferring, not a starter at Ohio State. You're just like, okay, cool, I'm going to go here to play football. With mine, you could risk injury. With Master Teague, it could be learning a new system and not having the same commitment to play that the coaches at Ohio State gave him versus the coaches at another school and what they may give him. So I understand where mine's coming from, but just like Master Teague, I said, hey, buddy, it's just, I don't know. I don't know if this is the right time, but for him, ultimately, he was done playing college football, went on to the NFL. I believe he made a camp or two, but I don't believe he made a 53-man roster. It's okay. That happens. For Mayan Williams, I think he has a better shot of making a 53-man roster over Master Teague. I don't know if it's going to happen. And that's my guy. Like, Mayan is like, I really thought about buying a Mayan Williams jersey, black, of course. You know, you got to get that alternate, unique, worn once a year black jersey, and I was going to put it in my closet. Number 3, Williams. Bam, going to be there. Didn't do it. Ended up getting a number 5, Garrett Wilson. 5 is one of my favorite numbers, and GW was a dog. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So for Mayan Williams, I understand part of it. Like, I don't know the entire logic, and I didn't talk to him or his family. Like, I don't know the conversations he had with certain people. I'm sure Tony Alford was involved in this decision being made, and I get it, man. Like, I understand. You think now is the time for you to take your shot at the NFL, the next level? So be it. Not mad at you. I hope it works out. Hope he is successful in the NFL, and if that doesn't work out, hope he is successful in whatever he does after he leaves Ohio State. Before the guys that are currently in the portal, Evan Pryor, not surprised. Samori Abor, not surprised. Vic Cutler, that one kind of surprises me because he just transferred, but okay. DJ Uiagalelei, said it a little bit faster. Let's slow down. DJ Uiagalelei, there we go. Got to get all those syllables clearly heard through your speakers. He is currently in the portal once again after leaving Clemson. He left Oregon State now, and I'm like, hey, man, you might want to just, like, slow down a little bit. But some guys say, hey, transfer. Man, you may even start. Didn't work out. Want to go somewhere else. Cam Martinez, not surprised. Ryan Turner, not surprised. Kyle McCord, I am. Reed Carrico, not surprised. I think he could have a good shot of playing next year. But if Cody Simon stays and Steel Chambers stays and CJ Hicks is there, Reed Carrico is not in the top 3. I understand it. Go out there and get your money, young man. Hope he gets some NIL money wherever he goes. Parker Lewis, the kicker. That was an interesting one because he's another guy that transferred from USC, had a little hiccup with his transfer, got approved, and hey, he's gone. Jacob James, Kai Stokes, Jair Brown. I understand why people are leaving, and I get it why you're doing it right now. For Ohio State, I do expect more guys to enter the portal. I think you do as well. On offense, on defense, does not matter. More guys are going to enter. And I think Ryan Day, even before guys enter the portal that are currently on the roster, you better be aggressive in that portal, man. You better be aggressive out there and try to bring some guys in, because if not, the roster might not be what an Ohio State roster should be in 2024. The rhyming of to be in 2023, that was fun for the 12 months. Can't do that no more. Got to find a way to rhyme with 2024 going forward with the show. Coming up next, we'll discuss who Ryan Day expects to play in the Cotton Bowl. It's coming at you next on Locked On Buckeyes. This episode is brought to you by our friends at LinkedIn Jobs. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to have as many top-tier candidates as possible to interview. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Job has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn has a vast network of more than 1 billion professionals, which makes it the best place to hire. Hiring is easy when you have that many qualified candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats and might not have the time or resources to hire. Thankfully, with LinkedIn, the process is intuitive, quick, and easy. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Thank you for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen or first watch of every single day. Once again, right now we are in the midst of the beginning of the first portal window of the offseason. We are also in the midst of players declaring for the NFL draft. Already got one in mind. Williams. Is Rob Van Marv next? Is Abuka next? Kate Stover, Travion Henderson, Tommy Eichenberg, Steele Chambers. Who is next? Josh Proctor. I mean, he's gone. Going to happen. He's gone. Lathan Ransom, Denzel Burke. Some say Jordan Hancock could enter the NFL draft. I wouldn't say that right now, but some say that could happen. I know eligibility-wise, but I think it would be wise for him to stay in school one more year. We're in that period of time when players, even Caleb Williams said he's not going to play in the bowl game for USC. And I'm like, hey, bro, I get it. You won the Heisman, but of course I'm always an advocate of guys playing. Like, that's my own personal philosophy. I understand if guys don't want to. Hey, go play. Have one last ride with your boys. It'll mean something for you, and it'll be something you will be talking about for the rest of your life. Before Ohio State going into the bowl game against Missouri, it's going to be a game that I do think the Buckeye fans will be like, them Tigers are good. Mizzou can ball, man. Those dudes over there in Missouri, they could definitely play football. Ryan Day made this statement in regards to the availability for Buckeye players for the Cotton Bowl. Quote, "We're expecting everyone to play. Our guys will be ready to roll here," end quote. That's great. That's huge. That's amazing. You mean to tell me that in the midst of the portal and the NIL and guys saving their bodies for the NFL draft and getting a little earlier preparation for the NFL Combine and the NFL draft and the Pro Day, what are we finding? Hey, we expect everyone to play. Now, the expectation might not be reality. I'm not naive enough to say, what they expect is going to happen because they always gets what he expects. I'm not going that far. I am not that silly. I would even say not that stupid to even think something like that, but I don't want to say not that stupid. No, I don't want to do that. But no, I don't think that this reality everybody's going to play because there are currently 12 Buckeyes there. It wouldn't shock me, 12 Buckeyes in the portal. It wouldn't shock me if more guys, maybe one or two more starters are saying, hey, I'm out. Y'all can go on, roll on down to Arlington, Texas to play them Tigers from Missouri in the Cotton Bowl. But as for me, I'm hitting that portal. Y'all be fine without me. Now, I don't know anybody right now off the top of my head that might be thinking that. Offensive line-wise, Simmons, I think, is going to stay. Jackson, I think Jones is out of eligibility. Hinsman, I don't think he's going anywhere. Only guy on the offensive line that you may say could do that is Josh Fryer, but I don't even think Josh Fryer is going to do that. So before you say, Jay said Josh Fryer is going to the portal, Jay didn't say that. Jay didn't say that at all. So pump the brakes. Let's not go crazy. Jay didn't say that. What Jay did say is this. It wouldn't shock me if there were 2 or 3 guys that are either starters or contributors that enter the portal. That's just the world that we live in college football. And earlier in the show, maybe in the cold open, I mentioned that there are over 500 players currently in the portal, and that was a number that I read in the middle of the day on Monday, and the portal opened Monday morning. That's how wild and crazy the portal is right now. Speaking of quarterbacks that Ohio State might be going after that may be saying, hey, I'm going to be a Buckeye, and it might be something that happens prior to the Buckeyes playing in the Cotton Bowl. Cam Ward has been rumored that Ohio State wants Cam Ward, and I heard that and was reading about that prior to Kyle McCord saying he was going to transfer, prior to Ryan Day's presser on Sunday, prior to Champ Week being played, the championship games for conferences being played, there were rumors that, hey, Ohio State is trying to get Cam Ward. And this was even before Cam Ward was in the portal. There were things going on right then. And, well, even the further we get away, further we get into the portal, it's a chance that that's going to happen. But Cam Ward or DJ Uiagalelei, if you want him, great. If you don't want him, okay, cool, whatever. Wherever you are, the Buckeyes might be on he might be on the Buckeyes' radar. Dylan Gabriel, and that's the one that's the most surprising. I think he's been playing college football for 5 years. One of those was a COVID year. This kid has 4 seasons of over 3,000 plus passing yards. I think one of them was 3,700 passing yards. And I'm like, hey, man, the Brent Venables, do you not like him that much that you want to leave that quickly? I mean, y'all was doing some good things over there in Oklahoma. I get that y'all didn't play in the Big 12 championship game, but, man, y'all beat Texas. Y'all did some big things. Man. But there was one other name that was in my head, but I forget exactly who it is. Riley Leonard, but there's no contact. Like, I don't think that the Buckeyes are going to have a realistic shot, because I think his mind's already made up. But hey, if you could roll out there with maybe Lathan Ransom back on the field, Josh Proctor, Denzel Burke, Davis Adegbodosin, Tommy Eichenberg, Steel Chambers, the entire defense, and then the offense with either Devin Brown or Lincoln Kienholz, I don't think Tristan Gebbia is up in the running to be the starting quarterback for the Buckeyes' appearance in the Cotton Bowl. Yeah, it'd be cool. A little send-off there. No, bro, we're trying to win. And I don't think Gebbia is a guy that'll be the Buckeyes, putting the Buckeyes in the proper spot for them to win the game. They expect everybody to play. That's great. Reality, it's possible that not every Buckeye that's currently on the roster will actually play in the bowl game. I say currently, this is being recorded on a Monday evening. By the time you listen to this, there were 12 names that I read off that are currently in the portal. One guy that put his name into the NFL draft. There's a good chance that the time you listen to this or watch this, there'll be more names added to the Buckeyes entering the draft and Buckeyes that have hopped into that transfer portal. Out of here on a Tuesday. Hope you guys are having fun. Hope you guys are enjoying time with your family and friends, gearing up for Christmas. If you're able to get out there and watch some high school sports, so go out there and do it. It would be great. It would be a great opportunity for you to get out there and support local and see some talented athletes in your area. You can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at jstevens07. Send all of your emails to jstevens317@gmail.com. I appreciate every Buckeye fan that watches or listens to the show. Some of you reach out to me throughout various points in the week. I appreciate it. I understand that I feel a privilege and an honor to be the host of this here podcast and to connect with Buckeye fans on a regular basis. There will be times that we may do a emergency pod like we did yesterday in regards to, or a reaction pod in regards to players hopping into the portal or the Buckeyes snagging somebody out of the portal. So make sure you subscribe to Locked On Buckeyes so you don't miss anything. If you're on YouTube, hit that bell so you are notified every time a new video goes live. We're out of here, Buckeye fans, here on a Tuesday. We'll see you next time.